Hola, Bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic. This is episode 20 of season 3. I hope you're well. Owl and I say hello. You hear the chimes out there? It's been a while again. More than a week? I've been busy working on projects. I just finished this design project I'm really proud of. Beautiful collaboration. And I've been, glued to the computer for a bit. And as you may know, for these episodes, I totally free flow, so I need to kind of marinate myself, get myself in the right state of being so things flow out of me. Usually I take a walk or go out to nature, go to the sea where I'm easily inspired and get connected. Bueno, speaking of connection and going for walks, I want to tell you the story. I went for a walk, I think it was 2 days ago, and I was taking a break from the computer, and I really intentionally connected to my guides and angels, and I said, "Hey, I would be so happy if you would send me a sign that you're here with me." Hmm? And for some reason, I kid you not, I got this it's almost like a frase, a sentence floating in front of me. I get that when I get intuition, messages from my intuition. So I saw this sentence floating, and it said, "You will get 3 signs. Don't worry." And I was like, "All right." So I kind of went out there, went on my walk, and in expectation of finding or noticing this sign. And then I reminded myself also, wait a minute, the rules of manifestations are numero uno, ask, because as soon as you ask, it is given, law of the universe. Number 2, you have to let go. Let go and put yourself in the receiving mode. Because if you're anxiously going after it, you're coming from a point of lack, so that whatever you're manifesting cannot reach you. So I'm like, wait a minute, I need to let go also. So yes, expect it with eagerness, but just let go and enjoy yourself. Then the first sign I got was a feather on my path. And it was literally in front of me. I'm like, I'll take that. And that's the thing about perceiving things also. We have to be open for it, and we really, if something like this comes across your path, if you disregard it, then, or if you doubt it, then yeah, it's not going to be it. But I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Numero uno, I'll take that. Then I continued. It was so funny. And, I was just asking myself, I wonder what the next thing will be, because they said 3. So I continued, and in the field, I kid you not, all of a sudden, in front of me was this magnet. And I'm like, what? And I was like, I'm a magnet for miracles. Because I tell myself every morning, I'm Magic Mel. I create miracles. I create a beautiful life. I'm the creator of my abundance, and so on. Yes, it's affirmations, but it's also just like my mantra. Whereas before I would tell myself these affirmations, but I was kind of still skeptical about it. And nowadays I'm like, yeah, 100%, I'm Magic Mel. I create magic. And I'm like, oh, I'll take that. I'm a magnet for miracles. Sign number 2. And then all of a sudden, I thank them also. That's another thing. The entities, angels, whatever you want to call them, they like to be appreciated, just like we all do, no? So I said, thank you. I got sign number 2. And then this sentence floating in front of me again was like, and you will definitely not miss the 3rd sign. It will be in your face. And I was like, okay, Melanie, maybe you're just talking to yourself now. But I'm like, no, I'll take it. So I continued on my path, and almost on my way home, there was this butterfly fluttering around me, like in my face. And I see butterflies as a sign for transformation, for beauty, metamorphosis, and lightheartedness. And that's the thing also. Angels and guides and beings from other realms, they talk to us in a language that we will understand. So I understood the butterfly sign, for example, no? And I understood the magnet sign because I believe in that also. So, well, I wanted to share this little story because it really made me happy and it just really confirmed to me that we just need to initiate the connection. If we want to connect to source, if we want to connect to our angels, our guides, they're just there. But we need to, the law is that we need to initiate. It's a law of free will. So as soon as we make the step or knock on the door, knock and the door will open. They're there, like on the other line, like, hey, we got your call. We're going to answer your call. And we have to be open to open ourselves up to receiving that also, and not discredit it out of disbelief or doubt. So it's a choice. But I've made that choice, and it just makes me feel obviously connected, and it just keeps me in a state of wonder and magic, to be honest. So try it. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. If you ask for signs, they can come in all kinds of forms, through people. There's like earth angels, people, messages on trucks, messages on billboards, numbers. It's like angelic numbers. The messages come in so many forms. Songs also, where we need to open ourselves up, step out of the mind, come back into our body, and just be present to receive the messages. And the thing is also, I found that the universe has humor. It's not like, it really knows. It's super intelligent. Obviously, it's like higher intelligence, but it has humor also. It's a fun dialogue to have. Okay, that was my little story. And I've pulled some cards. I've been pulling a lot of cards for myself recently, and honestly, the cards are looking great. I always pull my main card of the day from the Wild Unknown Animal Tarot, which is a bit darker, and I love the symbology and they're all drawings actually. I wonder if they're hand drawings, but beautiful imagery. So voila, this is the Four of Wands, which I pulled today, but I've been also pulling over the past week now, quite consistently. And the Four of Wands stands for stability, homecoming, a sense of foundation, sense of community, of belonging. And yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling this sense of completion, of having built this foundation for myself, of having been able to come home to my center, my truth, my anchor, my intuition, all of those things which were neglected in the past or severed, especially my connection to intuition was completely severed. So I slowly built myself up to this foundation of Four of Wands, and I feel stable. I hope. We don't go through things. There's a lot of us going through the same processes at the same time. So let me know if you guys have been feeling the same stable energy as I have. Would love to hear from you. So I pull the main card from the Wild Unknown, and then I pull a kind of partner card or backup card from the Rider-Waite tarot. And the backup card was the Five of... Wait, I'm getting a bit confused here. Five of Cups in the reversed. So the Five of Cups in the reverse is, well, in the upright it talks about disappointment, disenchantment. His figure is looking at all the three cups that have been spilled, but is not realizing that there's two more standing. So it's a lot about focusing on the negative and not on what went wrong. And in the reverse, it's, for me, the opposite. It's this, together with the Four of Wands, this realization that whatever went wrong, c'est passé, está en el pasado, ya está bien. It's in the past, and we've learned our lessons, and we've been able to finally let go, because a lot of energy is consumed and taken away from our power in the present moment if we don't let go, if we don't know how to leave mistakes or so-called mistakes in the past, if we kind of keep on regurgitating that or beating ourselves up for it. Something I am culpable of. Well, not anymore, but I used to beat myself up so much for stuff I thought I did wrong, for mistakes, for hurting others. Also resentment, like, oh, she did me wrong. All of that just saps and leaks our energy and takes away from um, our power to create in the now, which is the only time when we really have full power to change everything. In the now, we have the power to change the present, the future, and even the past. We have the power in the present moment to rewrite our past, give it a new meaning, change our perception, and take control of the narrative. So the foundation of the Four of Wands has a lot to do with this sense of being able to leave the past in the past, to look back in gratitude. I've been talking about this sense of gratitude also for having gone through struggles and pain, seeing the value in what we've gone through, which is difficult when you're in the thick of things. Now, when you're thick of things, you kind of like, it's more of, I mean, I used to play the victim violin, like, oh, woe is me and why me, and you can't really can't see a forest for the trees or a tree for the forest, whichever way around. You cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in it. But looking back, I mean, I've come to realize the enormous gift of the struggle, and what was perceived as a rejection was, what is that saying? It's not rejection, but redirection, in the God's way of redirecting you in the right direction. So although it's painful in the moment, you realize in hindsight what a huge gift that was. My biggest gift in terms of rejection has been the redirection to my own self-worth, to my own center, my own home, my inner home, my center. And let's be real, I mean, there's nothing. I've been listening to this podcast. It was, oh gosh, who was it again? But they were talking about the difference between safety and security. And there's a difference in an important difference here. Safety is more something that you look for externally. You know, we try and create security. But safety is something we create from the inside. It's something that cannot be really taken away from us. It's something we need to nurture and build for ourselves. If we don't have that, then we keep on trying to fill this void, this lack, with external things. So my greatest gift has really been that, especially from heartbreak, is this knowing that nobody can fill my own cup if I don't fill it first. We need to fill our own cup so it overflows, and then we're able to share. Otherwise, we come from lack, and we kind of outsource that lack from other people, and we're kind of leeching or toxic, energy vampires. But once we're able to connect to our own source, and which is infinite abundance, then we're able to truly give and create interdependence, and not feed our codependent patterns, but really relate to other people from a sense of wholeness. That's been my biggest gift, and that is what is really at the foundation of this Four of Wands, constructing in our road. Bon, that is that. And then I pulled 2 cards. I asked my angels, my spirit guides and spirit for inspiration for this episode. And I pulled 2 cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle. And the numero 1 was goblins. You see? Right. It's not so clear there, but they're like goblins in the woods. I guess they're referring to like our shadow parts. And it says here, fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. And that's exactly what I was talking about with the 5 of Cups in reverse. We can only truly let go when we forgive ourselves and forgive others, and recognize that that the hurt was probably a distortion of our own energy and our own perception, because as long as we carry unhealed trauma in ourselves, that filters our perception of so-called reality. It's like a pair of glasses that tints everything with the same emotional charge and hurt from the past. So we cannot see things objectively or fairly, let's put it that way. And others similarly, and as we know, like attracts like. When we are in a state of unhealed trauma, we attract people and circumstances that reflect that trauma back to us. And vice versa, we are a reflection of the other person's trauma. So to really move on and integrate and heal, we need to forgive the other person for trespassing, and we need to forgive ourselves because we didn't know better. So there you go, the goblins. As long as we don't look at the shadow parts, which come across as scary sometimes, or shadow beings, they're not really that. They're usually an illusion, rejected parts of ourselves that are just screaming for our attention so that we integrate them into the light. There we go, it's an illusion, because anything rejected, anything that we perceive is missing or rejected in us, is just asking for our love, really. And if we don't shine our love and our awareness onto these rejected parts, then we come from a place of lack still, because we're missing a piece of the puzzle, or we haven't integrated something that is really ours, be it a rejected sense of power, a rejected sense of joy, and then we act out of fear. But fear is actually just the monk, the la falta de amor. Fear is a lack of love. And if love is really the essence of source, then anything that is not love is an illusion, i.e. fear is an illusion. Well, anyway, going off my topic. So I'll read you out what it says here in the booklet. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There, they remind you of what brought them into being by mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help heal you. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of negativity. Perfect. Isn't that what we're talking about? It goes hand in hand with our reversed Five of Cups. We cannot, as long as we're in negative self-talk, in victimhood, we will only look at those 3 cups that have fallen, and we don't recognize that there's still 2 cups standing. There's always a way forward and always still something to appreciate. And what has transpired is done. We cannot change the past. We can only take its lessons and be grateful for the lessons and experiences and apply them for the now to create a better future. That is the power. That is an empowered stance that we need to take. Anything else is victimhood. And again, as I said, these goblins, they are just, imagine them being these little cranky cookie monsters. They just want your attention and your love. And as long as you don't give them attention, they're going to be there like, whining and sapping your energy and, causing resistance and inner conflict. But as soon as we shed our torch of awareness onto them, say, hey, what's up? Let's go have some tea. Give you your cookie. Tell me what's up. Listen to them. Let's not reject them, those shadow parts. Things that we don't want to accept about ourselves. Let's not reject them, but let's look at them with awareness and accept that, even those parts that we deem unlovable or unlikable. The truth is, we're not only made of light. We are human beings, so we carry both shadow and light. And a sense of wholeness is achieved when we accept all of ourselves, all of the different aspects we carry within us, the light aspects and the shadow aspects, not rejecting the one or the other, but holding ourselves in wholeness, accepting the totality of who we are. So that was a beautiful message. And yeah, any lack of self-worth, self-sabotage, it really trips us up. It's these goblins acting from outside of our awareness, from our shadow. They trip us up. They're the ones who convince us that we're not good enough to ask for a promotion or ask for what we want or approach someone we care for and tell them that we love them or God knows what. They always tell us that we're not good enough. And that's just an illusion. It is an illusion. Remember the Buddha under the Bodhi tree? I think was it Mara? Her last attempt to seduce the Buddha away from enlightenment was after she sent, I think, like beautiful women and riches and whatever. The Buddha and Siddhartha was not swayed, but the last attempt of Mara was to, I think, whisper into his ear, "You're not worthy. You're not good enough. You're not worthy to be the Buddha." And I think then Siddhartha touched the ground and countered that illusion, countered Mara's voice, and even accepted and he said, "I am worthy." And I think that's when lotus flowers showered down on him. Oh, getting goosebumps. Showered down on him, and he became enlightened. Okay, we gotta cross-check that, the exactness of how I'm paraphrasing the story, but it was something along those lines. But this Mara's voice whisper, Mara, I also call Mara the critic, telling us that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy. That's a lie. And we need to be self-aware enough to recognize that voice in us, because if not, it will trip us up. We will identify with that voice, and it will keep us small, limited, and in lack. So let's treat our goblins with compassion and self-awareness and shine that light on them and say, "Hey, I see you guys, but you're not writing the dominant narrative anymore. You take the back seat. Fasten your seatbelts because we're going on a hell of a ride." On an adventure. Well, that was one of the cards. The other one was rescue. A ver. 16, Nummer 16. Número 16, rescue. And there's like a little damsel in a cave. Looks like Lord of the Rings kind of landscape. And there's a waterfall coming down. There's a chimney, and I think there's this dude in a hot air balloon looking for her, possibly. Anyway, the topic is rescue. Number 16. And it says in here, "You're always safe and secure and free to be yourself." Did we talk about safety and security? There we go. Once we go home to our true center, our true haven of true safety, which is inside, then we're free to be ourselves, because we're not outsourcing validation, we're not outsourcing approval, we're not outsourcing love from others. We are giving it to ourselves first. And then we're free. It frees us, because when we're still operating from unresolved trauma and old patterns, we're not really free. We're acting out those patterns. We're on replay. So it takes away from our free will and choice, because we're not free when we are chained to emotions that are on replay from the past. We're literally projecting the past into the present and therefore not freely creating our future. We are projecting the past into the future on a huge loop. It's pretty crazy, no? So the card says, asking for help isn't easy for many successful people. However, that's what you need to do now as you expand your life. If you find yourself troubled, you can expect help with whatever issue is at hand now. You need only ask, and assistance will come your way. The most important support you can expect is from spirit. Get into a right relationship with the divine, and you'll see that many conditions line up as if by magic to provide you with all the help you need. Ask, and you shall receive. There is no need to fear. Safety is a place within. How crazy is that? Didn't I just say that? Safety is a place within. Voila. Everything changes when we connect to ourselves. Everything changes when we allow and are brave enough to be authentic. And that's a big topic. It's been such a journey, this journey back to my own authenticity, but maybe for another episode. But safety is a place within. Everything else is walking on eggshells, and everything else leads from anxiety, because if you don't feel safe inside, you will always feel on edge. That's how I used to feel in the past, always on edge, anxious and in fear. I was living in fear. So this newfound sense of safety, I guess, with the topic of rescue also means that, I mean, let's get real. Nobody's coming to rescue us. If we're really brutally honest, nobody is coming to rescue us. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I used to be spellbound by this notion that, ooh, my Prince Charming is going to swoop me off my feet and make everything better and save me from my troubles and all of that. I really subconsciously believed that. And what heartbreaks taught me is that no, nobody's going to rescue you, and nobody's supposed to ever do that. That's a lot to expect from another person. The only one who can provide you with everything that you... Okay, it's another topic, but safety comes from within. We need to be able to manage our own emotions, self-regulate, nurture ourselves first. We cannot expect other people to do that. We can expect relationships and friends and loved ones to support us in that process, but they cannot do it for us. We need to rescue ourselves. We need to be there for ourselves. We need to reparent ourselves. We need to be our own best cheerleader, our own best friend. And that's something I really had to learn. So, there's this damsel, and I want to tell this damsel, hey, nobody's going to rescue you. Go, and you've got everything you need to rescue yourself. Stop looking for that hot air balloon to lift you out of your problems. You've got everything you need on your little island there. And I guess another thing in combination to what it says in the booklet is, this whole sense that reach out if you need help. Actually, asking for help is a sign that you love yourself, that you respect yourself. Because although, yes, healing and nurturing ourselves comes from within, nobody says that we have to do everything on our own. It's totally fine to communicate to others, to friends, that we need some help and support. And most of the times people are totally willing to be there for you. It's a matter of boundaries. It's a matter of trusting also that, hey, if I ask, I'm not going to be burdened, because I trust that the other person has a strong enough sense of self to tell me. If they cannot be there for me, then they just tell me, and I'm not going to take it personally. So it's really this, again, feeling safe enough and worthy enough in ourselves to provide nurturing for ourselves, and to reach out and ask for help and support from others when we need it. It's a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot. This journey of coming back home to ourselves. But honestly, the better it gets, the better it gets, and the easier it gets also, because once we recognize our patterns of self pity and victimhood, although life might present us with situations where we're triggered again, the more aware we become, the easier it gets to recognize those patterns and to let go of them and to hold ourselves in compassion and to move forward again instead of spiraling back down. So it really, really works. Just like the negativity vortex has a strong, it is very compelling. The opposite spiral upwards of positivity and healing, once we get that ball rolling, it also keeps on going. We just need to feed it with our love and attention and awareness. But it gets better. I really have this very strong sensation now that a strong foundation has been built, that all the work we've put in here in our healing was worth it. Nothing was in vain, and things are becoming more magical, and our manifestation powers are becoming more and more powerful because we have less blocks. So it is becoming smoother. Not to say that it's always going to be rainbows, but we know that by now that we need the contrast to create new desires. We need the contrast to appreciate the joy. There's no real joy without having gone through suffering and pain and loss. So everything, the yin and the yang, keeps on turning. And I guess there's more of a sense of trust in the process of life, because life wants us to evolve, because we're part of the universe. We are the universe, and universe wants expansion. So the more allowing we are and become, the smoother the ride becomes. Voila. Anyway, this is super long. Oh, I've got two paintings here. I've been painting again. Those are two plants from our beautiful valley here. It's another project I have. I want to really get to know the local fauna and study them. So I've made two studies here in the back. And voila, this is Magic Mel episode 20, a long one, but I had to do a bit of a catch up because I was silent, radio silent for like a week plus. And this is us with the Four of Wands and Gemini season, new moon next Monday on the 30th. So I hope you're in full swing of spring. I hope you're well. I hope you're congratulating yourself for all the healing work you've been doing, and that you're not alone. And then beautiful things are lying ahead of us, guys. Honestly, I feel it. I really feel this is a big year. Owl and I think so, feel so, know so. ¿Vale? Y con esto, bueno, les dejo ya. Oh yeah, but I started rowing also. So I have like muscle ache, but it's good. Exercise is wonderful. And yeah, lots of activities, lots of new projects, and good vibes abounding. I'm sending you lots of good vibes to wherever you are. ¿Vale? Y con esto les dejo, les mando un gran abrazo. Alles Gute, liebe Leute. Alles Liebe von I'm Magic Mel, and this is Mel's Magic. We're almost done with season 3. Got 2 more episodes to go, and then we're rolling into season 4. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. If you have any comments, feedback, I'm always happy to hear from you. If you like my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Check out season 1 and 2 as well, so you see how I've been evolving, how Mel's Magic has been evolving. And if you feel like it, share with friends and family. Vale? Okay, genug für heute. Alles Gute. Tschüss. Ciao.